Namaskaram Sadhguru. Yesterday you were talking about devotion and belief. My question is, thought and emotion are connected and both are created by me. So one who is devoted may also have thoughts towards his object of devotion. And one who believes in something may have strong emotion towards that. So why is that a believer is less than a devotee?
See, this part of the country particularly, almost the entire country, but particularly this part of the country, now a few things have changed, otherwise, anywhere you go across southern India, south of Deccan Plateau, wherever you go, hundreds and hundreds, why hundred? Thousands and thousands of Shiva temples. Devotees of Shiva. They spend their lives, everything, on just building one temple. Every king had to build one temple. Every family which is of some worth, they want to build a temple, putting all their money into it. If you look at the elaborateness with which they have built, you can understand they should have spent their entire everything they had. They themselves lived in small homes, but they built magnificent temples. Because this is devotion towards whom? Towards Shiva. Well, Shiva is a destroyer. Everywhere it is clearly said, he is not going to lift his little finger for you. But people built temples and temples for him, spending all their life's earnings on him. A man who is not going to give you anything. And not only that, he's always looking at you like he's going to destroy you. You know that incident where the seven sages, the Saptarishis, are after decades of studying and learning and experiencing with him, he says, you go out into different lands across the world, you must go and make people get acquainted with this science, the yogic science, 112 different ways. So they're all prepared, they don't want to go, but they don't want to leave him and go. But he's saying they must go, so they're leaving. So they say, you're sending us into strange lands. We don't know what kind of people we will meet. You must understand it's not 21st century, where you know what sort of people live in every corner of this world. In every continent, every little place, what sort of people live there, you know in some way. At that time, they don't even know in another part of the world whether there are human beings or giants or devils or who is there, nobody knows. So they are asking, when we go there, we don't know whether they will be receptive to us or not. So in case we meet those kind of situations, will you be there for us? He looked incredulous. He said, what? If you meet any kind of adversity like that, he said, I shall sleep. Why would you want to build a temple for this man? That's a devotee, I want you to understand. This is not coming from the intellect. But these seven sages went out without understanding what he said. Because when you sleep, you're one with everything. If you sleep consciously, you're 100% one with everything and consciously with everything. See, when you're awake, you are a person. When you sleep, you're just life. There's no limit actually. This is why we've been telling you, if you can cause that little awareness at that moment of going to sleep, from that moment of wakefulness to sleep, if you can be conscious, something phenomenal will happen. We've been telling you, but you've been sleeping. So he said, I shall sleep. He's not saying, I will be there, I will come and jump out of the sky and save you. Nothing, he says, I shall sleep. But the devotees don't care whether he will come, he will not come, he will do something, he will not do something. I'm saying there is no qualitative evaluation because they understand, because they know from their… it is not even understanding, they know from their innermost experience. Their devotion has transformed them in such a phenomenal way, they don't care if it comes or doesn't come. That's devotion. You cannot do this with your intellect. You cannot do something illogical with your intellect. You can do some lousy logic. What is that dirty little logic you can do? But you have to do some logic. Even the most illogical idiot has his own little logic, dirty little logic. But with your intellect, you cannot do something illogical because that's the nature of the intellect. So, belief is done on the level of your intellect. You are trying to make logic out of something where there is no logic. Everybody is looking up, heavenward. I'm saying this is increasing, I'm just saying. If you look at the old videos of 50s, 60s, where international football games, when people score a goal, they just jump in joy or shake hands, do something, they wouldn't hug each other because there were no deodorants at that time. But nobody looked up and praised the Lord. But today, almost everybody, or most of them, the moment they score a goal on the cricket matches, well, we've gone through this many times. The planet is round and it's spinning, you have no clue which is up. So definitely you have no clue what is up. Your goals are coming from there? No, it is just that you're trying to build confidence. So essentially, you build confidence, belief builds confidence. Confidence will not give you clarity. Confidence will give you a bull-headed approach to life. You can dose yourself through life. Sometimes it works, unfortunately. That is not the nature of devotion. Just see how a devotee stands. He's never confident, always like this. But believers, because you believe some nonsense, you made it up. A devotee has not made up anything. He's just softened himself in such a way that life happens in a way that logic can never do, an intelligence beyond the limitations of your logic. Anybody who's applied their intellect substantially, if you apply your intellect, within no time you will hit the limits of where it is. Most people have never applied intensely enough, so they think their stupid little, dirty little logic. Maybe we should publish this poem. I'm beginning to like it. This dirty little logic is limitless. So with this dirty little logic, it is your dirty little logic that right now where you live is not good. Your accommodations are not good. People that you live with are making you miserable. So with your dirty little logic, you created a better place up there. A devotee is not creating any place up there. He doesn't care whether he goes up or down. All he knows is his heart is overflowing with the sweetness of his own existence. Well, he may use a tool He may use something to inspire him, but he is not making up things. So this is a fundamental difference between belief and devotion. It's like this. Legs are for walking, hands are for doing things. But if you train your hands very well, you make it very strong, you can walk on your hands. And there are people who are handicapped, somebody has lost their arms, they are doing all kinds of incredible things, artwork with their feet. Some are doing, it's fantastic. But are your legs designed to work and hands designed, arms designed to walk? It is not. Similarly, your intellect is designed to dissect, to look at things logically and decipher a few things for yourself, for your survival. Your emotion is not created or doesn't have the ability to decipher things. It knows only how to embrace something. If you want to know the sweetness of life, your emotion should flow. If you want to figure out a few things, your intellect should function. But now you're using your intellect like emotion, and emotion the only emotion most people know is stress, anxiety, resentment, anger. Once in a way, only on the Facebook, they feel some love. Because that's the safest place. That is the safest place for a love affair because you never have to encounter those people. So, let us understand this. Intellect is not designed to illogically make up something, it is designed to decipher life as it is, the physicality of it, the material of it, so that you can function efficiently. Emotion is not designed for that. Emotion is designed for you to experience life intensely. If you use it the other way around, you want to walk on your hands and work with your legs, all the best. It's like, this happened. Shankaran Pillai was walking in the Orly, what that? Orly, yeah? Sea face in Mumbai, post-lockdown. So the first ones, when the lockdown is released, the first ones that'll come out are the criminals, the pickpockets, you know, because business is totally gone.